Hey guys, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique. Today what I want to talk about is the road to pro. I want to be a pro! Ah. So hey guys, hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday so far. If the camera seems off, it's because look at this. Look. Autofocus has not been doing me right lately. It's been doing me dirty. So I'm trying to just keep it manual focus and have something semi good here. Semi. I don't know. Y'all, am I doing okay lately? So that it's not just all over the place going in and out of focus and fucking up, and it messes me up, right? I don't like it. So let's talk about this one. And this one's on my mind because I get a lot of client inquiries from people who say, I want to go pro, right? And so my initial thought process to this is IFBB Pro, okay? And so those of you who know me know I work with a lot of bikini competitors. And so it's probably a little bit different for a bikini competitor and going pro and all those other good things as opposed to me trying to make it like as a bodybuilder or men's physique athlete, right? I 100% am a firm believer that you can make it to a pro as a bikini athlete, as a natural athlete 100%. Now, as a male bodybuilder, that's probably not in the cards for, gonna be real hard to get the size there. Especially at this day and age and what we're seeing with what they're looking for the classes, right? But bikini, yes, absolutely 100% doable. So let's talk about that because obviously the IFBB is not the only organization, right? There are natural organizations out there, tested organizations, and there's a lot of other places that you can compete. And so for me, I think that delineation definitely matters. When somebody tells me, hey, I want to win a pro card, I'll say, okay, where are we trying to win a pro card at, right? Because a lot of the natural organizations, it's about how many competitors are at the show, right? We need like a minimum of 5 competitors at the show for a lot of the natural organizations for a pro card to be awarded, which depending may or may not be an issue, right? Not really the organization, depends on the promoter, the show, and how they run it. What do they put out there for the competitors, those kind of things. But that's one consideration, right? The other consideration, so beyond what league are we trying to compete in, where are we trying to compete, how many shows have we done? How have we done in those prior shows, right? Now, this one's hard because, like, nobody likes to, we all kind of look at the end goal and say, that's where I want to be. That work in between tends to be where I have to come in and be like, okay, well, we have some goals that we need to make happen between that, right? So if we're going for an IFBB Pro card, we have to qualify before we can even go to nationals to compete for a pro card in the first place. But if we've never done a show or we've never placed, our first goal should be simply to place. We want to be in first call-outs, we want to be taking home some hardware. That's our first goal. If we've placed but never won our class, the next step, we want to win our class. If we've won our class but never win an overall, right? Maybe now we want to win an overall, right? Or we can still go to nationals at that point, given that we've qualified, we won our class at a qualifier. But we want to make sure that whatever our feedback was, we take that into account, right? If the judges tell us that we need more size, and this one's really good. If Sandy's our head judge and she says, hey, I really want to see you with more size in the long term, that means we're going to need more size to be competitive on that national level, okay? Now, if it's something like conditioning, I want to see you tighter, that's definitely something that we can improve upon within a shorter amount of time and go in, right? Like, boom, what up, nationals? I brought a leaner package and we're looking really good. That kind of thing. So we want to make sure that we're doing the right things to set you up for success, right? Because at the end of the day, if we need more size and, we're going into a show to win it, it might not be the best course of action, right? Now, if we know that and we go into the show knowing that and we say, okay, well, I understand well that this is probably going to be something that's going to come up and it may or may not work against me, awesome. We want to do the show for experience. We want to, have that experience of a national level show. I've had clients that want that, and that's fine too. But we want to make sure that, we have that realistic view of what it's going to look like and what it's going to entail. Becoming an IFBB Pro is very, very difficult. There's a good amount of pros, but there would be even more if it was just easy, right? It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of time invested, a lot of attention to detail, okay? So we don't want to take it, I feel like a lot of us take it lightly. Like we maybe don't understand that there is a lot of work involved in that. And that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with working hard for the things that are important to you. There's nothing wrong with having to really invest yourself in the things that are important to you and the things that matter. However, if we're looking at our first show and we say, I want to become an IFBB pro, if you've never even done a show, you don't know that you like it, like there's just a lot of space in between that we still have to figure that stuff out. We still have to look at this and say, okay, well, let's look at it logically. Let's be objective if we can with ourselves, and let's really start like putting the pieces together. Let's do a show. Let's find out if we like it, right? One of the things I tell a lot of my first-time competitors is that do a show. Find out if you even like the process. Forget about placing, forget about trophies, forget about pro cards. Find out how you feel about like this whole world in general, right? Because maybe we like the gym and maybe we like the idea of dieting, but like the actuality of it isn't the case. Maybe we're like, oh, we do a show, and, oh, I hated that, you know? Because then you can save yourself years and years of investment and time investment before you've ever even done a show just to find out that you hate it, right? Or even just going to a show. Go watch a show, see how it goes, see how you feel about it. What does it make you feel, you know? What does it make you think? Those kinds of things, right? So I think that it's really important that when we're looking at the idea of going pro and winning shows and doing this stuff, that we pay attention to the progression of how that goes. Yours truly, I was last in my first 2 shows. I just did some shows, and honestly, it pissed me off. It didn't make me happy. I didn't like the feeling, but it did in fact motivate me. You know, it motivated me to say, all right, well, I'm gonna show somebody. I got a little chip on my shoulder, fell in love with the processes, right? Show day, maybe not necessarily my favorite thing in the world, getting tanned up and in my mankini, but I love prep. I love the challenge of pushing myself to do new things that I've never done, to be better than I've ever been, those kind of things. That's what does it for me. That's what I love in the process. So, you know, you might be one of those people too. Again, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we just want to make goals that are in line with one another. We don't want to try and skip ourselves all the way up to the top of the building. We want to make sure that we're taking time, we're taking the stairs, we're doing things right. That way, not only are we, one, setting you up for success, hopefully, right, but we're setting you up with realistic goals. It might not be the most realistic goal to go in and to win our overall for our first show. Now, are some people going to be able to do that? Yes, absolutely. Some people are genetically gifted, they just have the muscle, they have the shape, they have the look, and it just works out well for them. So yes, some people it will happen, but for the vast majority of us, we're gonna have to do a couple shows. We're gonna have to get better. We're gonna have to learn. We're gonna have to improve our posing. We're gonna have to get better over time. Maybe we're gonna have to put on more muscle. There's a lot to think about here, guys. So when you're looking at shows and you're looking at, hey, I wanna go pro, just make sure that you're doing yourself a solid and giving yourself reasonable goals, right? You're giving yourself a pathway to get there over time instead of just saying, I want to be there. Because what I find happens quite often when all I look at is the end goal, I don't enjoy the process as much and I get very impatient, and a lot of times it can burn me out. So I'll leave it there, guys. Road to become pro, sometimes it's not necessarily about that pro title at the end, but it's at where we're at and how we get to the next step and the next step and the next step, guys. So I'm gonna leave it there. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will talk to you guys soon.